Hey home improvers, I'm really happy you enjoyed Tom's video last month. We're so lucky to have him on the HGMM team. So, are you ready to tackle some painting? Here's Tom with some very mere mortal tips to get you started. And don't forget to check out the Homecraft Chronicles for more of Tom's home improvement videos.
Hey Steve, thanks a lot. Tom here guys from the Homecraft Chronicles, and today on Home and Garden for Mere Mortals, I'm going to show you some tips and techniques to help you get the picture perfect paint job every time. Okay, to get started, the first thing you need to know about how to get a good paint job is good paint and good tools. People ask me all the time, Tom, what's a good paint to use? My standard answer is any paint is a good paint to use, any brand is a good paint to use, provided you buy a good quality of that brand. Don't buy the $8 gallon of paint, you're going to get an $8 paint job. A good gallon of paint nowadays is going to cost you anywhere from $28 to $35 to $40, but it's going to be worth it. You're going to get a much better result. Buy a good brush. This brush here is going to cost you 10-15 bucks, but it's going to be worth it. I've had this brush probably for 10 years. I clean it, I take care of it, and it's lasted me this long, and it's still good. Latex paint, you want a good nylon polyester brush. After you clean the brush, you're going to put it back in this package. That cares for and keeps the brush good. This room here that I'm using has recently been painted, so I'm just changing the color. It's already prepped, it's already smooth, repaired, whatever. So I'm not going to worry about this. But obviously you're going to want to caulk your cracks, spackle your holes, do any touch-up priming, covering stains. I could talk for an hour just on that. The first step in any paint job is cutting in the corners. Some people call it trimming. I call it cutting in. And that's what you're going to do with a brush. I'm using what's called a sash brush here. It's angled. You can do the same thing with a straight brush. I just happen to grab this today. I've poured from my gallon into here. I never paint out of the gallon. You contaminate the paint. You get all the little hard, dried nubbies in there that ends up getting on your roller, all over the wall. It's a nightmare. Always work from a work pot. Another thing, I only have about this much paint in my work pot. It's because when I dip my brush in here, I'm dipping and I'm not scraping on the side. You're patting on the side, that way you leave paint on the paintbrush. If you scrape it off, what are you going to paint the wall with? So now let's cut in the wall. Okay, we're going to cut in the wall now. Important thing to know is I'm a lefty, so I'm going to paint to the right. You always want to paint dry and paint back into wet. So I'm going to start in this corner here. I'm going to paint out this way and always brush back into the wet. And then I'm going to start in the corner. It doesn't matter whether I use the tall side or the short side of this brush. Another thing, a brush was not meant to work sideways. I mean, you can work sideways, but you're using an inch of the brush rather than 2.5 or 3 inches of the brush. So you load up some paint on the brush, dab it on the wall, and just work it down into the corner, and then brush out. It's counterintuitive. Some people think, well, if I have too much paint on the brush, it's going to be sloppy. That's actually the opposite. If you have a decent amount of paint on the brush, and you get the edge in there and work a nice bead off the edge of the brush, you can paint it right out. Just put a little pressure on the brush, spread the bristles out a little bit, and you get a nice edge. Okay, I've got this wall cut in. Now another tip, another reason why you don't work out of your gallon of paint and you put it in a work pot with only about this much. What am I going to do with this brush when I have to roll in? Yeah, you could say lay it on across the top, but in the time you're rolling in, this is going to start to gum up. If you put it right in the paint, just dip it in the paint, and leave it there, I've only got this much on the paintbrush. It's going to keep the paintbrush from drying up, and it's not going to get all gummed up, working all the way up into the bristles. Okay, now it's time to roll. Just like the paintbrush, a good roller handle and a good roller cover. Save the plastic bag. I've already used this roller cover. I cleaned it. It's a good quality roller cover. I've cleaned it and put it back in the bag, and I can use it again. Smooth wall, people are going to tell you, it says right in the package. Smooth walls, 3/8 inch nap. I'm going to tell you, 1/2 inch nap. I never use anything less than a 1/2 inch nap. Why? Because I can get more paint in a 1/2 inch nap. When I'm loading up my roller, You can see I'm rolling into the paint from the dry area. And I get a nice even coat on the roller. You want to offload the roller first in an M or W pattern and then go back and even it out. Let me show you. So you put the paint on the wall and then just go back in long strokes from top to bottom and even it out. People ask me when I'm painting, Tom, how do you know when you need more paint on the roller? Well, easy, when it looks like you need more paint on the roller. If it looks like there's not enough paint and you have to press to get paint out of the roller, just go load the roller again. And in 25 or 30 seconds, I painted this little wall here. I'm only painting a half a wall here because I have tile. But if this was a full wall, I'd paint this top half and then I'd reload the roller, I'd paint the bottom half, and then I would roll long strokes all the way from top to bottom to blend in both sides with the unloaded roller after it's all painted. And I would work that way across the room. So that's it, guys. I painted the room the way I showed you, let it dry, hit it with another coat, and it looks great. If you use the tips and techniques that you've seen here, you can tackle any painting project in your own home. Any questions you have, leave them in the comments below. We'll try to answer them for you. Also, if you have any tips on painting projects around your own home, that'd be great. We'd love to hear those as well. In the meantime, why don't you subscribe right here to Home and Garden for Mere Mortals. That way, you won't miss any of the great information that we have to help you celebrate your home. Also, when you're done checking out all the great stuff here, come on over, visit me at Homecraft Chronicles and see what kind of projects I got going on. So that's it for now. My name is Tom from the Homecraft Chronicles. Until I see you next time right here on Home and Garden for Mere Mortals, take care.